Military causes, though, still incredibly important to you because you belong to a number of charities and organisations, including the Royal British Legion. We were hearing about the Carstown branch yesterday. You're the chair of the Douglas branch.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And why is it so important to you to keep those allegiances going?
Well, the Isle of Man's got a massive amount of veterans from all three services. And, it's a community inside the military and it's also a community outside the military as well. So I just want us to continue to be a part of that, wider family, once I'd left.
There is a news story that we found this week which talked about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suggesting rates have increased among members of the British Armed Forces. And there is an organisation that you're involved with that supports people going through those sort of things.
Yeah, it's a new organisation called Rock to Recovery, and it started with a couple of guys, Foxy from Who Dares Wins, and Jamie Sanderson. They were, founder members of the organisation. They initially started helping Royal Marine Commandos, and then somebody said, "Oh, could you help this person and this person?" And now it's just blown up massively to a massive UK network. There's 6 locations at present, I believe, throughout the UK, and they've recently started running clinics here in the Isle of Man, and I think they're going to very, very soon run their 3rd clinic over here.
That's fabulous that there's that sort of support available.
It is, yeah, because I suppose, even if you don't necessarily see anything hugely traumatic when you're in service, even just from the way you're describing what it was like even going through the training, once you were in that way of life, the adjustment to go back to normality as such must be huge.
Well, lots of people say, how are you coping when you get out of the army or since you got out, and I haven't had really that much time to reflect because I'm still running around the woods in uniform and running around with a gun, although nowadays they're not real bullets that are coming out of them. But it can be hard for some people to adjust because you've been sort of bubble wrapped. Although you're exposed to a lot more danger, you are bubble wrapped. Everything's pretty much done for you, and so when you come out, you have to do everything else. Your tax returns and all the other bits and pieces that go along with being a civilian, and some people just find that a little bit too much. And with the stress and strain of what they've been through, you've got more and more time to reflect on that, and it starts coming to the fore.
So I suppose it probably does beg that question, doesn't it, from those of us who haven't done it, as to sort of, why you would put yourself in that position. But what are some of the things that you were involved with that you did that you're sort of most proud of when you reflect on your time? I'm proud that I passed the All Arms Commando course. I'm proud to, still continue to help in the different charities that I'm involved with, and I'm immensely proud of my family for supporting me through my military career.
Well, let's talk then about how you, as you say, are still running around woods holding a gun most of the time, even though there are no real bullets involved. Where did the idea then for Laser Mayhem come from?
Well, we actually used the exact same guns that I currently use now prior to going to Afghanistan. So we did some simulated training with the exact same guns, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then when I was coming up to leaving the military, you get given a load of financial assistance, lots of flights to go and do a bit of research, house hunting for preparation for getting out of the military. And my wife knew that I wouldn't be able to work for anybody, and I didn't want to go and work in an office or anything like that. I just wanted to continue what I did and what I was good at. And she did a bit of research, and she came across a European distributor who's based down in Kent, and suggested that I go down and pay him a visit, and I did, and I came back with a load of guns. So it was my wife who sort of pushed me in the direction of creating Laser Mayhem.
And it was government who were appealing for people to go with ideas for that site.
It just fell into, the exact same time we opened up the paper, and there was a big advert from government saying,
asking entrepreneurs, business people with ideas to come forward and make better use of the plantations that we've got many of. And from the outset, I think they earmarked South Barrule as the location for the outdoor, activities hub. And I put a business case together, went down and approached DEFA, who loved the idea from the get-go because there's no physical projectiles. It's for want of a better word, a TV remote control that we shoot at each other. So it's an infrared beam that you don't actually see. Where the laser bit comes from is where you look through the optic. There's a little red dot, a little red laser dot in the centre. So wherever you put that red dot and pull the trigger, you will hit that target up to 400 metres away. And it's, the guns themselves, they talk to you. They tell you when you've run out of health and ammunition, and they're absolutely awesome. And I call them squaddy proof because they get dropped on the floor, kids pick them up by the wire, and the head sensors get stretched and all the rest of it. But they are so robust, and I'm so glad I actually went with that particular brand.